Oh yeah, it done got that bad. You are now tuned in to the Brown Spade. So, if you haven't heard, for those who in the manosphere, in the world of YouTube, the hot sensation Austin Holleman has been apparently kicked out of Brazil. He is the quick phenomenon. He's been blowing up. His name been ringing, and he's been moving pretty rapidly through the YouTube ranks, so to speak. But apparently, on this video, and I saw this video. This video he shot this video the other day, and he was on the beach and was asking this girl, would she have sex the first day? Which I thought why, even if he could, why are you asking her? I didn't understand that. But he asked her that question. I even, I was like, why did he ask her that, to myself? I didn't understand. But again, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to use this as a teaching lesson for future YouTubers, both young and old. But I noticed that most of this happened with a lot of, let me just say, inexperienced guys when they get out here. When they get out here to these foreign countries, some of them, they don't practice discipline. They don't, whether knowingly or unknowingly, they don't respect the culture. And we have to be very careful at that because as Americans, when we do what Austin just did, and again, I'm not trying to bash the brother or anything like that, but when we do what he's done, it makes it bad for the next guy who's coming. You see what I'm saying? Whether he know him or don't know him, that's irrelevant. But we share the same hue, and we're coming from the States. So that's a bad look, So, this is a teacher moment. This is a teacher moment. For those who don't know, I live here in Dominican Republic. Thank you, love. Thank you. Okay, mi amor. Decisión. ¿Qué decisión?
¿Qué?
Decisión. Not there. Okay. Okay, baby. Thank you.
Make you want later?
It's okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that he's not thinking, or they're not thinking. Just let this be a teaching tool for those who want to be a YouTuber, for those who's going out here. Some of you guys, weekend warriors. Some of you guys want to be passport bros, whatever that case may be. Is you have, coming from the States, you have a responsibility. You have to have integrity. If you don't have integrity, and if you're not responsible, you can fall into the pit holes into these different foreign countries. There are a lot of guys who left the States, came into these countries, and they trying to have those same mentality coming from the States, bringing them into other countries. They're incarcerated. Don't nobody talk about that. There are a lot of guys who are no longer with us. They're deceased. Don't nobody talk about that. See, these guys come down here. When I say down here, I mean in these foreign countries. And I've seen Austin. And again, I'm not bashing Austin at all. But I watch this content. I'm not a big fan of his tactics, you know. And I've always wondered in the back of my mind, and I know he's a young guy. He's a young bull. And, you know, I'm 49, so I guess I'll be old head. But his tactics it's almost like he's trying to prove something to people that he's disputing with, whether on Twitter or people in his feed for YouTube. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. If you done lined your finances up, or you was blessed enough to leave the States and go live in a foreign country, you've already won. And why are you arguing? I used to always ask myself, why would you argue with a person that you don't know? Because it's always like, in most of his content, it's almost like he was always trying to prove a point. And I didn't know him on a personal level, so I couldn't say, hey man, why are you trying to prove something to these people that you don't know? They may not ever see you in person in real life. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I remember this happened to Ayamara, the African. I remember he came here. He came here to the DR. And he was filming and you know, and he kind of crossed the line. And again, you have to understand the responsibility that when you shoot this kind of content, that type of content, when you're trying to show girls and stuff, you're skating a very thin line. You're skating a very thin line. And I remember that the government snatched him up. He still had his video rolling. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I remember that. They snatched him up. And they banned him from Dominican Republic. I don't think he could ever come back here, even if he wanted to. I don't think he can ever come back if he chose to. But he was out there. Again, when you shooting this content, you have to keep in mind what type of picture that you're painting for the country. Don't think because you're an American that you can do what the hell you want to do. That's not the case. At the end of the day, I've been living here for 6 years, 7, almost, well, I've been living here for, 6 years, almost 7 years. At the end of the day, and I applied for my citizenship, I'm still a freaking visitor. Because that's how I have it in my mind. Because this is not my birth country. You can have all your paperwork together, all your paperwork lined up. But if you violate and try to make this country look bad, or if you violate one of their laws, they're going to enforce their laws to the fullest extent. This is not the United States, where you can go out here and they kind of light on you in jail. Jail here ain't nothing to play with. Jail here ain't nothing to play with. I see it on Sundays, not far away from here. On Sundays, their family members are bringing food to them. So it's not like they sitting back getting 3 hot meals in a cart. That's not the case. That's not the case. So this is a for those of you who are inspired to be YouTuber, bloggers, and you're talking about traveling, you just gotta lay low. You gotta lay low. I live here in the DR, and I can get my camera and I can go out here and do that stuff, but man, I'm not doing that. For me, it's all about integrity for me. Don't get me wrong, I thought, you think about it. I've seen guys who started off right when I started off, you know. But as soon as they put that kind of content, yeah, they number shoots up to the roof. But then again, it's all about integrity. And so that's something that I have. I don't want my channel to be based around me showing women bodies or whatever. You know, it's just bad look. It's a bad look for me because I'm a man of integrity and I'm a married man. So how does that look? It looks crazy, right? But for these young guys, these young Thundercats, hey, you're skating a thin line. And if this continue, they're gonna start enforcing this thing more, and they're gonna start putting some laws on you, and you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck in these country prisons. And like on those Sundays that those family members bring them food, I don't think your family member gonna fly every Sunday to bring you food. So this is to those, I don't like to use the term passport bros, but for the sake of the video, for those passport bros, or those weekend warriors, be careful. Be careful how you enter these people's country. Always be respectful. Always remind yourself that you are a visitor. You are a visitor. It's not your country. And leave that American arrogance at the airport. Not the airport of the country you entered. The airport back in the States. Leave that American mentality back. Because for some of you guys go back home. You're here for a few days. It was all good. But for guys like me, expats, we live here. We live here. So we don't move like that. And that was another thing I didn't, I got to say this too before I forget because my mind is just going. Also with Austin, he went to Thailand. He's seeing how the veterans are in Thailand, but I don't know if he had this conversation. You know, he talked to, I'm quite sure Richie Mack gave him some tips or whatever, how to move or whatever. I don't know if he took that advice. I don't know. But you have to move differently. And again, if this continue, they are going to start using this as a tool because they could easily say he's doing some trafficking stuff, asking those type of questions. I think he's an intelligent guy. I think he has a great future. I don't know if he's gonna be able to go back to Brazil again. I don't know. But I will say that I'm quite sure he learned his lesson. But now the target is going to be on his back too. So he's going to have to be very careful on how he moves now. He was just settling in too, and I'm rooting for him. But again, I wasn't a fan of his tactics at all. So that's the reason why I'm shooting this video. Again, you have to understand when you leave that United States, you represent people that look like us, whether you know us or you don't know us. Your representation, we're all a representation of each other. So keep that in mind that, hey man, I have to uphold my end of the bargain because other brothers who came before me, and there's gonna be other brothers who come behind me. That's all for this video. For those who haven't, please press the like button. And for those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe and leave a comment. And I will get back with you on your with your comment as soon as possible. Thanks.